What are some signs that your married friend doesn't have a good marriage? Never wants to go home. Doesn't like bringing their spouse as plus one. Speaking poorly of spouse. Future plans sound more I than we. And lack of excitement around the holidays. They continually complain about their spouse in front of others. Or disparage them. When my husband died, some friends admitted that they were a little jealous. They're just always in a bad mood when they're around their spouse. This was the case with my best friend. I had only ever known her after she met her spouse. And she was always so low energy, easily irritated, and generally unhappy, mostly around him. It was so much a part of their dynamic that I shamefully assumed that's who she was. After a nasty split, she's become so much happier, lighter, and more herself. She started telling me about all the emotional abuse and borderline physical abuse after he was gone. I'm very happy and proud of her for getting out of it. Never wants to go home. Lesser known symptom: working long hours habitually. I knew a guy that wasted tons of time in the office, but worked every night until 7:00 or 8:00 because he clearly hated his wife and daughters. Also works for people who spend all their time volunteering to get out of the house. They always complain about how busy they are, but they have no problem talking to you while working. Just bickering. Passive-aggressive little digs and being generally annoyed with one another. It is weird to me that so many couples I know just kinda pick at each other constantly. They just don't seem to enjoy each other's company at all. For me, the big sign that things had fully unraveled in my marriage when I would go out with friends and I would get absolutely obliterated drunk. I'd have so much fun being with my friends and not currently coping with my god-awful marriage that I'd just go overboard and get totally wrecked. So glad those days and that life is behind me. When they advise their single friends to stay single, look at their face when they get a cell phone call and see that it's from their spouse. Tells you everything. They're constantly making snide remarks about their spouse and then saying it's just a joke. His wife came into the office one day and he introduced her to me as his future ex-wife with a sly smile. Yeah, they're divorced now. They never communicate, even over the simplest things. Feelings, plans, thoughts, life needs, etc. When the spouse doesn't respect the other spouse. An occasional joke at their expense is one thing. My wife and I do it, but you could really insert anyone's name in the joke. But when they criticize theirsa for the same personal thing non-stop, it starts to get telling. Like constantly telling everyone your wife is a shitty cook. If they suddenly seem really down on themselves or stop taking care of themselves for seemingly no reason. If their outlook on relationships and or marriage had changed since getting married. If they have nothing good to say about their partner or just don't talk about them. The list goes on. Gonna out myself here, they tell you what they are hiding from their spouse. For me, it was a vape pen. I kept it in the mailbox. Sleeping on the couch. I slept on the couch for a year because of insomnia. Got a divorce and my insomnia went away within what seems like days. They flirt a lot. A lot of unhappily married people I know are quick to flirt with anyone who seems interested. Because they want to feel that spark again. When one of them is out and their spouse does not stop calling them. If they're plastering social media with how happy they are, and they're so in love, and they're going to be together forever, that's a sure sign that things are in the process of going sideways. They always have guests, which obscures how little they talk to each other. When they don't care what the other person is doing or where they are. Basically, two people who live separate lives and live like roommates. In my experience, going out with my old homie that was married. I could ever post us out at the bar or anything. If his wife saw it, she'd blow her top apparently. We went out for my 23rd a couple years ago and merely his elbow was in the video of me sipping on whatever drink I had. In a panic, he urged that I delete it before his wife seen it for whatever reason. They're divorced now. This has happened to many of my friends. First they start doing a lot of things on their own without their spouse. Or conversely, they always have tons of other people around. They say their partner's just joking with a nervous laughter when their partner clearly meant to insult them and didn't care if it was in front of their friends. My husband's best friend literally is roommates with his wife. They are legally married. She doesn't cook, clean, or take care of the kids. She is never home. And she won't touch her husband at all, not even a peck on the cheek. Most of the time when I talk to him I feel so bad for him. When we talk on video chat with him it's just you can see his pain. He won't get a divorce because he knows she would try to take the kids to get child support. It's bad. I feel horrible for them. Never saying their partner's name to others. Only calling them my wife, husband, partner. Using another person for emotional fulfillment. Cheating publicly in a subconscious effort to get caught. Having lengthy phone arguments with their partner while at work. Frequently not showing up to work, taking numerous lengthy breaks at work every day. Refusing to leave their partner because of the fallout that would come with it. He goes to strip clubs a lot. My ex was so fake when we went anywhere involving other couples. But as soon as the car door closed to leave, the witch returned. My friends saw through her. She was torture. When you avoid or feel guilty talking about how happy you are or about the nice thoughtful things that your partner does because you know your friend can't relate. They talk about divorce hypothetically. His hang glider now has a full-sized graphic of his spouse holding the cat on it. And he wasn't asked beforehand. When he or she is always swiping right on their phone, sitting next to their spouse. They are withdrawn or secretive. If your friend is suddenly withdrawn or secretive, it may be a sign that they are having problems in their marriage. They always have plans but never with their partner. My friend never wants to go out as couples. Always me alone so she can vent about all the things he does wrong. I want me husband to go hang with us because I enjoy being with him. He has bruises that came from walking into doors. When you see his wife down at Bob's big boy getting in Bob's truck to Bob on his big boy. He games all day and the boys are always over. She sits in the bedroom and is on her phone all day. Because they both so glued to the screens. I was the one that saw their daughter take her first steps, didn't even realized it until my buddy saw his daughter standing next to him and went nuts. But hey, they have been together now almost for 10 years and still haven't broken up. But at the same time I wouldn't call that living. Posting their perfect life on social media. She gets random STIs 3x a year. They're excited for RTO, return to office. Not allowed to go anywhere without them. Talking shit about their spouse. Even if it's in a joking way. Went to a bachelor party with a bunch of guys I didn't know and they spent the entire time bitching about their wives and they all sounded miserable. She told me her husband said he would babysit their children so we could go out. Last time I checked, taking care of your own kids was called parenting, not babysitting. When they complain about their spouse. You're banging their spouse. His unmarried friend is posting on Reddit about his marriage. They have to ask their spouse for permission to go out. You're an adult and you're being treated like a child.